I've been keeping my opinion on the Odyssey to myself, for the most part, because it's not really, none of my opinions that I have of the film is about the film or the filmmaking. It's really about the parable that I see in the story, right? Like, independent of it being the Odyssey and independent of Christopher Nolan and all of that bullshit, there's a cautionary tale there that I'm seeing being told to the American audience, and in true American fashion, it's being missed. At this point, everybody kind of understands that Odysseus and his men were the bad people from the sea. The raiders from the sea that everybody was scared of, even the people in Ithaca, right? But I don't know if people understand that, like, that comes from the culture of Ithaca. It's not just Odysseus and his men that are rotten and come from a very rotten culture, and you see this not in just their behavior of raping and pillaging their way away from Troy, which is probably how they got to Troy in the first place, or how they were able to survive being on that beach for so long, was to go back out and rape and pillage and come back, you know what I'm saying? But you can see it even in the cowardly men that decided they didn't want to go to war for Agamemnon. Like, people talk about the reframing of the Trojan horse being like this disrespect to the gods and of Zeus's law, but even the cowards of Ithaca disrespected the gods. And, like, what does it say about the culture of Ithaca that even the cowards can manage to go into a place of worship, a place of holy ground, a place that's supposed to be safe, a place that is of worship to their own gods, and use that as an avenue for murder, slitting the throats right in front of the goddess. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is a sign of a putrid culture. It's a sign of a putrid culture that all the cowardly men of Ithaca are just fucking squatting in their king's house, not because they give a fuck, but just because they want to fucking take all of the food and all of the water and try to rape the queen. It's a putrid culture. Ithaca is a disgusting culture. And it produced those cowards just as much as it produced the clever Odysseus, who was smart enough to fucking create that fucking Trojan horse shit, but not smart enough to realize that, hey, we got a bunch of dudes who are gonna run into this goddamn land and rape and pillage everybody. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and in my opinion, what I got from that film is that Ithaca is a reflection of America. America has a putrid culture. It's disgusting, this culture. Like, America was Europe, and specifically the British Empire's greatest experiment with white supremacist imperialism and Christian supremacy. And in its effort to maintain its hierarchy and its pecking order, it has given crumbs to its residents, even the ones that it despises, allowing for them to buy into the system, much like how I would assume the motherfuckers in Ithaca have. And now that we're at this turn where the empire is imploding upon itself, because make no mistake, all of this shit that's happening to America is not because of anything that anybody on the left that is non-existent is doing. It is all because America is crumbling under its own weight and its own ignorance. And finally, this experiment of capitalistic imperialism is coming to a close. Right? And, like, as it crumbles upon itself and falls upon itself like this fucking putrid ass neutron star that it is, I can't help but think that in the next, like, 10 years, the very worst is going to come out of the American people. All American people. Black women, trans women, Hispanics, immigrants, white people, anybody who attaches themselves to this fucking culture, whether subconsciously or consciously, they're going to have the very worst response to the reality that the United States is no longer a hegemonic power. And it's because the culture is putrid. America is the evil sea people. You know what I'm saying? And it's not just when you go overseas. The putrid nature of it is not when you just go to Troy. It's also in the halls of the central place of governance. It's everywhere. It's everyone. You know? And it's like, I saw this news story about Donald Trump trying to do this executive order that would reinstitutionalize people who are homeless and drug addicts and people with mental illness. And I'm like, that's just him planting a seed. When he's gone, and he will be gone, when he's gone, I know that there's going to be some liberal, some fucking Democrat that's going to pick up that little seed of an executive order, dust it off, put some nice paint on it, and then reinstitute it as a law. And the very same people who are complaining about this shit, the very same people who are trying to raise awareness about it, will be the ones that utilize it. They're going to be the ones that pick up the phone and call that hotline to get somebody that they don't like institutionalized. To get someone that they saw at a coffee shop randomly and get them institutionalized. Like the best case scenario for an American seeing some weird shit happening in public is that they pull out their phone and record it and then try to make a buck off of it by going viral. Worst case scenario, that motherfucker's gonna pick up that phone, call whatever hotline is produced, and have that person institutionalized. We live in a fucking panopticon. And the putrid nature and culture of Americans is about to be turned within. Because it's not just the government. That's what I'm realizing. It's not just the government. It's not just Donald Trump. It's not just the Democrats. It's not just the Republicans. It's all Americans. All of us have this putrid, disgusting instinct because we were born and raised in this fucking country. It's going to be disgusting how many people we allow to be murdered and killed. Not just overseas. Despite the fact that, like, I am pretty sure there's also going to be some Democrat who's going to dust off this revitalization or this neo-Monroe Doctrine bullshit that Donald Trump is doing in Latin America and try to make it make sense. And most Americans are going to be like, yeah, that sounds right. And thousands upon thousands of people are going to die because of it. But also internally, here, nobody is preparing for the fact that the United States is not going to be a hegemonic power in 10 years. No one's preparing for that shit. No one's even preparing for the economic downturn that's going to be happening in like 15 fucking minutes. You know what I'm saying? Like, the country is putrid. It's putrid. It's so disgusting. Much like how Ithaca was. It's disgusting. The same way that Ithaca can produce people who can break sacred laws and pretend to give a gift or go into a temple and desecrate its holiness by slitting throats. That's America. That's America. And the response to this movie really highlights just how America it is, because we want to feel like we're the good guys. So how dare you change this 3,000-year-old? All of a sudden, the Odyssey is sacred. Nothing is sacred in this country. Everything is commodified, but apparently this story is sacred. People give a fuck now. Oh man, the shit would be comical if it wasn't so disgusting. I have very little faith of the American people. Very, very little. I know America is going to do the exact wrong thing and complain about reaping the consequences of those actions.